Okay, I am just going to start letting everybody in now.
Just touch base, they're on all kinds, business-wise,
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to give it a few minutes just to make sure everybody is in the call. Thanks for everybody joining us today. I'm just going to give it another minute just to allow any latecomers the opportunity to join us for today's roundtable, and then I will hand over shortly. Thanks to everybody that's just joined us. I'm just going to give it another minute just for any latecomers, just a few more moments before I hand over. Right, I think we will make a start and I will let any latecomers join us in a short moment. So thank you to everybody for joining us today for our roundtable session, which is hosted by our partners Uniware. Thank you again to Uniware for hosting this session. We're going to be joined today by Paul Whitcomb, who is the Business Development Manager for Uniware, alongside Michael LaRosa, who is the Marketing and Communications Executive at the University of Leicester. Just a few housekeeping notes for anybody that hasn't joined us before. We do record these sessions and share them with our members through the Cubo Knowledge Hub after the call is finished. So you'll be able to access that video in the next couple of hours. We will also put a PDF of the slides that have been used today. I have muted all of the microphones just for now, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat option or raise your hand throughout the call today. It is designed to be an interactive session. We have got some poll questions that will be coming your way throughout the session as well, so please do take part and ask any questions of Paul and Michael while you have the opportunity to do so. So from here, I will hand over to Paul, and thank you to everybody again for joining the session.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. Thank you for joining us. I think we've got everybody here. There's 25 people on the call, I can see. So I've got multiple screens, and it's always a bit difficult when you're trying to do a Teams event because you've got a screen down here, a camera up there, and everything everywhere. So apologies if I am looking about. I would much prefer to be in front of you all in a big room and interacting that way. But here we are on Teams today. So we've got a few slides to do, and I'll jump through those. As Sarah said, it's going to be a bit of interaction, and I'd like you to all get involved. Please feel free to ask any questions at any time, and we can go from there. So let's just hope that the technology works and we can jump through. Let's go to the next slide. So today you've all joined us for a session, roundtable session, to discuss navigating through 2025. We're nearly 3 months into the year so far, and I think you'll all agree it's been a bit of a challenging year, and it's gone very quickly as well. So today we would like to sort of see how we can support you, discuss some of the challenges that some of my customers have been discussing with me, and see if it's the same across the board, really, and really sort of share experiences. We're all here to learn off of each other and work together, really, to see what we can do. As I said, it's going to be interactive, so please feel free and please do take part in the polls. There's also going to be a test at the end, so make sure you're taking notes, because if you don't pass the test, you have to come back and do another session with me next week. So please make sure you do take notes and do that. What else have we got today? So let's go on to the next slide. Some of you guys on the call here are already customers of Uniware, but just a quick introduction of who Uniware is and what we do. Uniware are an EPoS catering EPoS provider for not only universities and colleges, but we also work with B&I sites. We work with the Army, the Navy, and we've also got Road Chef as well, who are the motorway services, a bit of a different type of customer, but we do all the catering and the outlets for their EPoS as well. We're over 30 years old. We had our 30th birthday last year, and we are our own company. We're owned by a larger group called Constellation Software, but actually we're completely independent. So we're able to do our own things. We're able to develop our own products and shift. Myself, I've been in hospitality industry for sort of 20 plus years. I know I don't look that old, but I am. You can see the grey hairs. I've worked within sort of golf and leisure, and then over the last sort of four years with Uniware, worked with a number of customers from universities, colleges, to NHS hospitals. I see a wide range of outlets and industries that we work with. And all of those customers are actually saying the same sort of, asking the same questions, saying the same sort of things. So we're here to support them. So that's what we do. I'm going to give you some insights today, hopefully, about what the challenges are, what we're being sort of asked, and what we're being pushed to do, and hopefully we can all sort of interact and understand a little bit about how we can work well in 2025, really. So I feel like I might be rushing it, everybody, but just hopefully if you tell me to slow down, or if you've got any questions, please do. Just ask in the chat. I've got the chat up as well. So today we're going to jump straight into our first poll, and I think Sarah, you're in control of the polls. So if Sarah can pop a quick poll up on the screen in a second, what we're going to ask you is, what do you think your current challenges are of 2025? So we've got a couple of options there, and it'd be good to see what everybody is feeling that their current challenges are. And we'll just give you a couple of seconds to start asking that. And as they're coming in live, it is great to see all these being answered. So we'll give it a couple of minutes to go through. Obviously, it's a difficult year so far. We've all seen on the news, and we do know there's fewer students on campus, budget pressures, and obviously staffing pressures. It's all a bit of a perfect storm. We thought we'd all come out the other side of COVID, and it all sort of, but it was all going to start getting better. But things have all sort of started to sort of be a bit of a struggle. So we're just seeing how many people have answered. We've got a couple more to come in, I think. So excellent. So I think, I mean, it's looking good. So I mean, the main answer there, we've got 43% of everybody on the call saying about increasing footfall against a decrease in number of people on campus. So how can we do that? What can we do to support that? So that's really interesting to see. It's great that nobody chose other. Nobody went for the easy way out. So that's really, really good. And what have we got? Staff efficiency. Staff efficiency and morale, 7%. 21%, sorry, 7 of you answered that. An increase in basket size, 9 of you answered that. So it's great to see that everybody sort of, there's not one that is really standing out. Obviously the footfall is a little bit higher, but the others are sort of up there as well. So what can we do? What can technology do? And here is what we're going to do, is talk about that over the next few slides that are coming up. If we jump on to the next slide. So here we go, the first one. So we had 14 people, 43% of you asking about increasing footfall. And we've got a couple of case studies here. And when I go to site, I've been asked several times, how do we get students to come into our outlets? What can we do to get students to use us more? Some of you are in a lucky position that you are in the middle of nowhere. You've got fields all around you, and you've got a captive market, so they can't walk down to Costa. Some of you are in city centre campuses like King's and Sheffield Hallam here, that they can just walk down to Costa or Tesco's and go and use those. So what can you do? But as they're asking me that question, I also say to them, it's not just about the student, it's also about the member of staff. It's also about maybe potentially the customer that is on the street that could come and use some of your outlets if you've got that option. But King's here is a great example. King's have 8,000 members of staff. It's a great opportunity to maybe try and get those into you as well. We all know that staff haven't been on site. There's been a lot of remote teaching as well. We're here now doing this remote. So we were approached by King's looking to see if they can offer some staff benefits to get staff back in. Certain departments wanted to put a coffee machine in every staff room so staff could have free coffee. Logistically, that wouldn't really work. The costs were quite expensive, and then who's going to maintain them, who's going to clean them, and things like that. So these departments went to catering and said, what can we offer our staff? How can we get our staff back into the office and do some on-site teaching? King's came to us and said, what can we offer? What can we do with the system to encourage people to come back in and offer them something? So there's the option to sort of give them a promotion, give them something for free, give them a discount, to entice that person to come back in. Because we would know that they are a member of staff, you can give them something specific. After a few weeks of backwards and forwards, it was agreed that they would actually offer 2 free coffees per week to certain members of staff or certain departments. The good thing with coffee and tea is that it's a non-taxable benefit, so you don't have to worry about offering and all these benefits in kinds and things like that. So using the UPay app, staff registered or already pre-registered, they would go to the outlets anywhere on campus and were able to get a free coffee twice a week or a free hot drink twice a week. Worked really, really well. They've found that actually more staff are coming in, more staff are using that free benefit. And then off the data, they're also seeing that staff are getting their free coffee, and then they're actually adding a sandwich on the side, or they're buying an additional item as part of that transaction. So it's increasing the staff footfall from there. And it's also increasing another one of our points that we're going to discuss later on, the basket size. So what we've found actually is now that equates for King's College, the coffee sort of promotions that they're offering for the staff, that equates to about 1.2% of King's annual revenue. So internal budget charges and internal budget changes equates to 1.2% of income just on coffees and hot drinks for staff members. So it's great to get the staff member in. It's increasing that staff member's morale. And it's also giving them something for free, but they're also buying additional things on top. So it's a great example there that we've got. Sheffield Hallam, alongside the cost of living crisis, wanted to try and get more students onto the campus as well as staff. They were finding that their outlets couldn't compete with the high street. So what could they do to ensure that that student or that member of staff came into the outlet to try it, use it, see what they could offer? So they came up with the idea, what they called £1 Wednesday. And on £1 Wednesday, anybody who scanned the UPay app, so they identified themselves either as a staff member or a student, they could get a hot item, a hot box they called it, or a sandwich for £1. they moved it around all the outlets as well, so it wasn't just in the same place. So they were just getting they were just going to get the same sandwich every single week or the same hot box. They moved around and they changed the outlets to entice people to go to different areas, and then it was letting people try the food. It was letting people find out what the outlet was doing, and they've then seen off the data off the back of that student or that member of staff are more likely to come and use their outlets. Now they've used it, they know what it's like. They can see that the food is a lot higher quality than actually what they're offering on the high street. So it's tying in the cost of living. We're supporting that. And then we're also trying to entice people in with a promotion and an offer. You can always monitor that and see if it's succeeding. You can see with our reporting how many people are using it and what they're doing and when they're using it. So it's a key driver and increasing that footfall. It's driving people into your outlets. So as I said, it's not just about your students. Always think about your staff as well. Staff at universities, and colleges, there's a lot of staff. And then also, what can you do to entice people around all your different outlets? Don't just put an offer in one, move the offer around. Sheffield Hallam, say £1 Wednesdays, but other universities that I work with, the guys over at Essex University, for example, I think maybe somebody might be on the call today, I can't see all the names, they move around their discounts around the different outlets as well. So they're enticing people to go to each of different outlet as they move around. So we've got another little poll here just to see how we're all going. I told you it was going to be interactive, so sorry guys if you were just getting comfortable. So Sarah can launch the poll for me, please. And as this launches, this is just really to find out if you feel like you're living up to the customer's expectations. Do you feel like if you're a customer, is what you're offering with regards to technology the same as the high street or other universities and colleges? Do you feel like you're aligning and what you can offer is the same, not the same, or neutral? Just letting those all come in now. How many have we got? I can't see who's answering. I can just see the numbers. So we'll let a few more if there's a few more coming in. I was hoping I'd be able to see the people who are answering so I could pounce on the ones who are saying certain things. So maybe I might need to ask Sarah anybody. Okay, so I think that's pretty much most of the people who have answered there, Sarah. Can you see, or could we say, so what I wanted to do is just sort of ask, I mean, here you can actually see that 63% have said no. Your current technology, you've got technology limitations and challenges. Is anybody willing to just jump on and say what is one of your biggest limitations in technology? What is holding you back right now? Is anybody willing to sort of come off microphone and share with the group? Everybody's silent. Katie, thank you.
Thought I'd throw you a bone there, Paul.
I know.
I would say that my biggest challenge within tech is actually the analysis of the data. We have data is there, and it's actually getting that data out and getting that data into a usable format that actually poses us the biggest challenge, I would say, actually. So it's kind of like we've got to the point where we're doing things and we're trying things. We've got kind of rotating promotions, etc. We've got like discounts that go on apps. We're doing various different things for people. So we've put all that in place, but it's actually being able to analyze the results and knowing what's actually working versus what's not working, and how that's actually impacting us.
Very interesting. We actually discussed. We've got. You might have seen my slides already. We've got a couple of. We've got a bit in a little bit later on about sort of data and the data is king, knowledge is power. They always sort of those classic phrases that we always use. But if you've got the data, what do you do with it? That's exactly it. You need to be able to interpret that data, understand that data, and do something with that data. So that's a great limitation that you've got at the moment, that you can do everything that we're saying here, but actually off the back of it, you're not learning anything from it. So it's very interesting. Thank you very much. Gillian.
To come, yeah, just waiting to be on speaker. For me, it's kiosk ordering. It's being able to customers to be able to come into outlets, use a kiosk, place an order, which we can then fulfill as you would in any high street coffee shop, and being able to do advanced ordering through the till system, which at the moment we can't do.
Excellent. So once again, I think you've seen my slides further on as well. So this is brilliant that what you're saying there is what we're going to be sort of covering, as you say. So technology within the education environment, hopefully you all won't take offense to this, but we're probably, universities and colleges are probably 3 to 5 years behind the main high street with the adoption of technology. And it can be good, it can be bad. I sort of always say that actually being a little bit behind the curve is better, because McDonald's, KFC can all spend their millions of pounds doing it wrong, and then we can come in a couple of years later and do it exactly how they're doing it now, and the right way of doing it. As you say, putting a kiosk in, putting the self-service in, enables the users to experience what they're experiencing out on the high street. And it's great to see that you're saying that, and Katie as well. You're reporting. We've got some slides or a bit of information further on about that. So that's in there, ready to have a look at. But thank you very much, everybody who came for that poll. So, increase in basket size was one of the ones that we discussed earlier on. So, and let me just quickly see how many people said increase in basket size was a big one for them. So 10 people, 30% of people on the call would like to try and increase basket size. How do you increase basket size? How do you get them to spend more when people are struggling to spend more? And we've got here self-service options, and a self-service option can be a kiosk, or it can be a scanning a QR code on the table. Anywhere where the customer is doing it themselves does increase basket size. It's very strange. There's been a couple of studies on it. I'm sure we can find the information, but we've actually seen it as well. We've seen it in practice. Things like the scan, order, pay. You're effectively putting a small kiosk in the person's pocket. You're allowing them to order themselves. You're allowing them to take their time. You're allowing to do an awful lot of things that you can't do when you're queuing in a queue, or you can't have a member of staff doing whilst they're sat there when there's a big queue. When you're using a self-service, an electronic self-service option like scan, order, pay, or a kiosk, you've got the automated upsells. You've got the meal deals that are there. I don't know whether you've ever gone into McDonald's, or some of you do, but for homework, sadly, I do have to go to McDonald's and see what's like, and obviously check out what the self-service options are like. But next time you go, you'll notice this. It's always already pre-selected as a go large meal. So automatically it's go large, and 9 times out of 10 people won't change it from go large to go to medium. So you'll notice that next time you're there, that's automatically increased that basket size straight away, and it's done straight. You've not got a member of staff asking, do you want to go large with that? It's there, it's done. The other thing is, I'm not being judged by the computer, so I am also going to add some onion rings, and also I'm going to go with 12 chicken nuggets, not the 6 chicken nuggets. So it's a psychological thing, and it will allow you to it lets you order more. It just increases it. We've got a couple of really good case studies here. So some of you might know Keele University. They've got an outlet called the Kitchen Table. They've recently revamped the Kitchen Table. They've pretty much removed all man tills. I think they've got 1 or 2 just left, and they're in the process of actually taking those out now. And it's all pre-order. It's all scan, order, pay. It's scanning the QR code and either brought to the table or a collection point. They've seen a 53% increase in sales year on year since they've done that. And they've put that down to both the revamp, because actually it's a nicer environment to go into, but also not being judged when the students are doing the sort of adding extra onion rings and things like that to their meal. We've got Leeds Beckett University have installed a couple of kiosks. So this picture here on the right, in the middle, sorry, they've got a chicken shop, a chicken shack outlet, and they removed their man tills. They put 2 kiosks there, and they saw an increase of 19% on their average basket size, comparing that over the last few years, just from the self-service, just from having the upsells, just from having the increased basket sort of thing. And also with regards to our kiosks, and also what we've sort of copied it a little bit from KFC, it brings your favorites. So when you identify yourself, it brings what you like. It's got there easy. It's not a barrier. So you scan your ID, your QR code on your phone, or you can tap your staff ID or student ID, and it brings up what you've had before. So less barrier to purchase, less thought is done, and you just push the button and you buy it, and away you go. I mentioned KFC, so we've in the past and recently, and you'll be able to see it, we'll include the link in the slides that we share. We've got a great case study from their chief technical officer, and KFC actually saw a 20% increase in basket size when they shifted all over to kiosks. What they're doing now is KFC are slowly adapting their kiosks to look more like their app, and moving people onto their app and sitting people down on the chairs and out in the outlets, and then bringing the food to them. They called it social pressure, where I'm sort of saying you're not being judged. KFC called it reducing social pressure. So when you're at a queue, you're feeling a bit flustered, you're feeling like you need to order really quickly. When you're at a kiosk or when you're ordering on your phone, you're not feeling judged. You're in your own space, you're doing your own thing. You can order everything that you want when you want. So it's very, very interesting, the psychological sort of thing behind sort of self-service options. I mentioned the personalization, so scanning it, being more personal, understanding and rewarding people. So as I scan my app, I can have a personal experience. Part of that, it shows me what I've enjoyed, what I've had in the past. It could potentially offer points. It can offer that experience as part of that sort of process of reward, and like sort of enticing people to come and use you more, spend a little bit more, offer this, add that sort of thing. So it's very, 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 very good. The other thing with self-service options, scan order pay in the kiosks, is it increases the accuracy of the order, and it reduces the mistakes that are happening. So when somebody's ordering it themselves, they know what they're putting through. So it's only their fault if something does go wrong. So there's fewer complaints, it reduces wastage, and actually it supports staff time, staff morale. They've not got so many errors that are going through. It ties everything together. Once I've ordered on my phone, I'm done. I sit back and I relax. When I'm in a queue waiting, it's always somebody in front of me that's going too slow, or it's the person that the person on the till is taking too long to put the person's order through. It's my time, it's my space. So it's very, very interesting. How are we doing for time? I don't want to. I'm probably going really fast. Sorry, guys.
It's half past. You're absolutely fine.
Oh, perfect. I thought I was going really fast. I'm okay. So we also said about sort of getting some repeat visits, and what I'm going to do here is actually ask Michael from the University of Leicester to sort of just jump on and introduce himself and say hello. So University of Leicester are a Uniware customer. They've been a customer for several years, and we've worked closely with them over the last sort of 18 months to improve that repeat visit. They've done a specific promotions through UPay. They've done UPay pricing, and more recently they've actually installed scan order pay as well. So just really want to sort of bring Michael on board to say hello, see what his experiences are, see how well the sort of repeat visits and doing the UPay pricing has increased people coming back, and doing those promotions have increased it. I can't see you, Michael, so hopefully when you do sort of there we are. So I've got a couple of pages. So yeah, so thank you, Michael, for joining. It's great that you can join us and sort of share your experience, really. As I say, we've worked together, well, since I've been at Uniware for the last sort of 4 years. Yep. And then recently we've been working on the UPay pricing and promotions and things like that. And then really it's just to sort of share your experience in that. What have you found that's worked well, and also what hasn't worked, because sharing these experiences is what we need to do.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, like, we've worked with yourselves for a while now with the UPay app. As we know, our customers constantly have access to their phones, so we find that understanding that direct marketing through the app, our customers become more engaged and more likely to take notice of offers and promotions that we have on offer, alongside the digital advertising that we do as well. Previously with the UPay app, when we first introduced it, it was more of a simple payment system, and we didn't really utilize it enough. So going forward since then, we've really expanded the use of it for the use of promotions, scan order pay, loyalty points, online ordering, etc. And we kind of rebranded it as more of a rewards app, so similar to Tesco Club Card, which our customers are familiar with. So from that, we kind of run a set of 6 to 10 offers constantly that our customers are aware of. And this can range from food, drink, and even clothing offers that we do in our campus shop as well. We try to update these offers regularly and keep these fresh and exciting, so they don't really go stale or get forgotten. And these are also updated based on like customer buying trends and also what we see in our reporting. So obviously these are advertising key areas, but the advantage of having the UPay app is that we can do the push notifications, so we can directly send these messages out to customers so they get our offers directly to them, right in front of their faces. So we're constantly pushing offers directly to our customers. So we also run promotions of products by offering extra loyalty points in the scheme that we do, which we found works well. So if we have new products from suppliers that we want to push, we can do extended loyalty points on that, which works quite well. And also during certain like calendar events, so like for example, we did a Black History Month event, which we did different offers and promotions on certain products, as well as loyalty points to get customers engaged in that. We actually saw an increase in some products having an increase of 60+% on sales, as well as a 27% increase on transactions as well. So stuff like that really works for us in terms of the company going forward. Since launch, obviously, with the rebranding of what we call the UPay Reward stuff, we've actually seen the increase of 600 student sign-ups and actually a 90% increase of active users on the app as well. So, and this is something that's going to be constantly growing, is what we can see. And we can recognise that there's repeat customers there through our reporting as well. So I know that I think it was Katie that mentioned about analysing data. So what we've actually found out, so obviously we can get the simple reporting from Uniware, but there's actually quite a lot of free AI tools that we kind of benefit from. So we put our reports in AI and ask the right questions, and we can kind of get a detailed analytics from that as well. So we can get like proper customer trends. We know when they're buying, when they're buying certain products and what time they're buying them, etc. So we can kind of personalize offers around that going forward. So for us, the UPay app is a quite in-depth like analytic tool that we use alongside our payment system. So it works really well for us.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. That's very interesting to hear, and those numbers and some of those percentages are really good. And just your sort of, it's great that you mentioned AI reporting and using that knowledge, and we talk about a bit of AI reporting shortly, sort of thing. But it's analysing the data and using the facts that you've got in front of you to ensure that those who are coming back, you're getting the repeat visit really, and the promotions are working. It's not worth putting a promotion on that doesn't work. And actually I've got a great example, and the University of Essex again, I can't see if anybody's on the call from the University of Essex, but I was just had a meeting earlier today with Elisa over there, and they'll be the first to admit that actually when they launched the UPay app a few years ago, and it crashed and burned, and it didn't work. They put so many things on for promotions. They tried to do so many different offers that people got confused with it, and it failed. And unfortunately, for a couple of years, whilst those students moved through, it didn't really work. This year, we've relaunched it. They've done a huge digital campaign. They've got scan QR code downloads everywhere. They did a promotion to download. So when you download the app, you can get a free cookie or 50% off of a coffee or whatever promotion you want to do if you download it. They did that, and then what they've looked at is actually just offering. Here's Sharice now. There we go. That's from the University of Leicester. So Essex basically looked at what they could offer, and what they've done is done a discount in different outlets at different times on certain products. So they've got their standard sort of buy 9 coffees get 1 free, which a lot of our sites always do, and I think that's a bit of an expectation now. But what they do is, where they've got different outlets on campus, they might offer 15% off a main meal in Buffalo Joe's on a Tuesday, and then next Wednesday it might be 10% off of Canteen. It's getting people to move around, and they've found that has worked really, really well, in that the student feels like they're getting an instant sort of discount, a bit of a gratification, a little, I'm winning, I'm getting a cheaper price, but they're going to all their outlets, they're actually using the outlets, and we've seen a huge increase in sign-ups. I was actually there for Freshers Week, encouraging students and helping students download the app, and it's going really, really well. They're doing the same as what Michael does, so they use the push notifications from the app to communicate out to the people on the app as well, to say today it's in Buffalo Joe's, tomorrow it's in Canteen, and things like that. So it is sort of trying to push people, but as I say, some things work, some things don't. So we've got 2 examples there, and also I'm never not scared to share when things don't work, because actually there's always a reason why it didn't work, and how can we share that? We don't want you guys falling into that trap again, so we want to share that experience. You want to make that experience good. So the customer experience, as we quickly move on to that, you want to make things as easy as possible for the customer, that seamless transaction. So Uniware can integrate with the university's data. We can take a customer feed or a student feed and staff feed, so we know whether the student or a staff member is purchasing. We can do an SSO login, so they can use their same username and password to log straight in. It removes some barriers to purchase. It removes some barriers to sort of download. So the easier that you can make it, the quicker it is. Katie, what have we just said? Sorry. Just out of interest, by default, do all notifications turned on? People can turn them off and on, so it's all down to so push notifications are great, but you can turn them off and on. So you can opt out, you can opt in. Those that opt in will obviously get the details on the promotion. So that's why you would want them to opt in. Those that aren't opted in, the promotion will be there, but they won't get the detail obviously sent to them. They also get a little message. They can send them a message in their in the app as an email type thing as well. But that is a sort of pros and cons to push notifications. Unfortunately, people can just turn them off. So back to the customer experience. There's a customer experience actually with push notifications. You can send too many. I don't know whether I go back to McDonald's. I get hundreds of McDonald's push notifications. Stormzy's just done a thing with them, so you can go and order Stormzy meal or something. I quickly just swipe that one off my phone. So interacting and integrations with the university data and the SSO logins makes it more seamless. It enables a quicker interaction. Open up the app, scan the QR code, pay for it with Apple Pay or Google Pay. Instant. Using the cashless account. So cashless account as well is also quicker than tapping your sort of credit card or debit card. We're all predetermined and sort of predefined by the Tesco checkout, aren't we? You go and tap your card at Tesco's, it's done in half a second and you're walking off. When you're stood there at the university, it sort of whirls for a couple of seconds and then you walk off. So if you can shift the way in which they're paying or how they're buying, the transaction changes, the transaction can speed up. AI. So we've mentioned about AI, but AI tills are on the way. They are out on the high street. They're that customer experience, the speed. Again, it is all about frictionless transactions and speed. If you can increase that experience and make that experience better, it will in turn get repeat visit. AI tills, I'm sure some of you may have already seen them. As I say, they are out on the high street at the moment. We have got a couple that we can work with and we can demonstrate, and we've got a couple going into sites shortly as well. So if anybody would like to see them, let us know and we can see what they are. But my opinion, it's probably next year when it's worth looking at the AI tills. So we've got our third poll. Managing resources effectively. What is your biggest challenge here when managing your catering team, really? How are your resources within the catering team sort of working at the moment? Are you struggling with recruitment, performance and training, communications, efficient use of time, really? What is everybody's sort of thoughts on that? As they're coming in, we'll just let them. So about 13 people reply, 14 responses. Keep them coming in. So what we're seeing here is about 40% are saying actually it's performance and training. So ensuring that staff meet quality and service expectations. We know that there is high staff turnover within sort of the industry. So it's interesting to see that a lot of people are going down that sort of route, and the same as what we're hearing. So let's have a little dig into that and see how technology can support you with training, with meeting the expectations and communicating and things like that as well. So let's dig into those answers that we've got. Recruiting staff is hard. It is really difficult at the moment. Some of you guys might be on recruitment freezes. Some of you might not just be, might have might have sort of job applications out there and nobody's applying for them. So I was talking to one of my customers, Anglia Ruskin University, and they were struggling to entice new staff. They were struggling to do a few things, but they found actually after a big refurb and putting the new technology in, so they replaced all their tills, they put some kiosks in, did a bit of self-service. When they were asking for new staff, people were turning up, people were excited to sort of see it, and like actually they're walking into an environment that is really, really nice. When you've got some really good technology and also a good environment around you, it's easier to attract new staff. So that's where technology and sort of having a nice shiny till and a nice shiny sort of kiosk and things like that, it's an expectation now. So it helps in that way. I mentioned Road Chef. So Road Chef, previous to Uniware, were actually losing staff as part of their exit interviews. They were saying that the technology that they had in place was so difficult, it was too stressful. They couldn't, like, trying to use a till, trying to process a transaction and trying to get the loyalty from system A to system B. It was too much. It was too difficult. So having the right technology and making it as seamless and as easy as possible will support that staff member and make them more happy. Really, you want it to be nice and easy. King's College London, they've changed their till maps completely, so they understand that, or they went down the process of having too many buttons on your till maps and having to push hundreds of different buttons meant that staff member was there for a long time. It was very stressful for them seeing the queue get bigger. So making the transaction quicker for the staff member as well and cleaner and easier made that staff member feel happier. It made them work easier. It made them more efficient and more effective. Really, it improved their experience of that transaction. So that's a key part of it. Training is a big thing, and performance training within the industry, we know that there's high staff turnover, so training is lost, knowledge is lost as you go through. You need a system that can support with that. Any system that you are looking at, or any system that you work with, should be able to offer online training resources, should be able to offer, we're recording this session now, so always record your sessions so you can go back and look at those training sessions. Uniware has an option for training within the actual POS screen, and we've also got training videos built within the POS screen, so those staff members can learn on the job. They can be sort of there at the till screen watching a video, how to process a sale, how to process a refund and things like that, should you let them process a refund. So there's all these different ways that are supporting your staff and doing more efficient, effective methods, really, where technology can help and not hinder. We don't want to keep sort of going, you need more training, you need more training. You guys can do the training at your pace, at your time. YouTube videos, a wealth of knowledge and a resource within the back office and your sort of your environments that your systems provide you. It's very, very needed to be done, sort of thing. Communicating, so not just communications between sort of like staff, but communications between front and back. How do you get your order from the till to the kitchen? What technology is there? So historically, it always used to just print out in the kitchen. Well, originally it was on a piece of paper, and then we went to sort of kitchen printers, and now there's a huge shift into those kitchen display screens. So you can put a nice big screen. The chefs always need a bigger screen because they can never see it, so they need a huge screen, and they can toggle through the orders. You can have the screens in the right places. You can hold orders back. So one of the things that we work with Logwood, and it's really interesting that they were saying that you start holding food back. So you've got 3 items going to the pass. One takes 10 minutes to cook. You fire that one first. One takes 8 minutes, so you hold it back for 2 minutes and you fire it at the 8-minute mark. And then one takes 5 minutes, so you hold it back and fire it. So it's all being made at the same time. So it's not waiting at the pass, going cold, going sort of whatever, or spoiling. So it then helps with that customer experience in turn as well. So you're using technology to manage the pass, you're using technology to manage the sort of expectations going forward. Very, very interesting to see speed of service and things like that. Kitchen display screens, as I say, as well, it's the same whether it's coming from a till, whether it's coming from a kiosk or in the pocket. It all goes to the one screen. It will say on the screens whether it's a till order, a kiosk order, or potentially a takeaway order and things like that. So it's using that knowledge. Redeploying sort of staff elsewhere as well. We know that it's really tough at the moment. So you might have staff or not enough staff. A lot of sites probably haven't got enough staff. So how can you utilize technology to support not having enough staff or redeploying those staff? So when KFC started to remove countered tills and put in all their kiosks, they were able to redeploy the staff that they used to have stood behind the counters to out the front, and they were doing customer service roles. They were welcoming the customers into the branch. They are cleaning the branch. They're sort of ensuring that the areas are being well kept, and it's more of an efficient use of time. Unfortunately, there's no worse waste of time than when you're just sat there behind a till. Unfortunately, it's sort of a means to an end. You have to sort of wait and do that. Keele University have got 3 kiosks and 1 member of staff looking after those. We've all seen it when we go to Tesco's or Sainsbury's. There's 1 or 2 members of staff looking after multiple self-service tills. So instead of having to have 3 members of staff there, they've now got the 1 member of staff, and the other 2 members of staff are out customer service roles and things like that. So it's just much more efficient to use, an efficient way to use technology. We're not trying to say technology is taking staff's jobs. We want to just redeploy that member of staff. There is a big fear that technology is going to take over everybody's jobs and self-service. I go to a lot of sites and there's a lot of fear from the staff, but actually technology is there to help. It's there to support you. It's there to make your job easier. So it shouldn't be there to take anything away from you. Just going to hear a few bits of background, so I'm just going to mute everybody. Is everybody still muted? Yep. Sorry, guys, there we go. So, data, cutting waste and improving margins and using your data efficiency sort of thing. So, knowledge drives smart decisions, and knowledge is power. So Katie mentioned about using the reports and using the data and sort of understanding that data. We can throw as much information and as many numbers as you require, but if you don't use it or don't understand it, it's absolutely pointless. So key identifiers that you would need to sort of be looking at, and what you should be looking at: busy times versus quiet times, first order, that sort of stuff. I've got a site that was using, we've got reports that sells by hour, so it just shows you when your sales are by the hour and how many they are, sort of thing. So it's a very basic report, but they were getting staff, 3 members of staff in at 7 o'clock in the morning, but their first sale wasn't until about 5 to 8 every day. So they had 3 members of staff stood there for sort of 50-55 minutes on average most days, pretty much just twiddling their thumbs. So what they did was they shifted it. So they put 2 people in at 7 o'clock and they got 1 person in at 7:30. So that half hour was able to then support breaks and support different people, and just shifting people around meant that actually they were using their staff more efficiently, sort of thing. So understanding when you're busy and when you're quiet would enable you to help support staff and moving people around and putting different people in different areas. Using the data to sort of test and understand things. So Road Chef, keep going back to those guys, they're very big at testing and rolling out and using that data. So they would look at the data, they would run a promotion, they would see whether it's working, and they would test in one area first of all. You might find that they might do it in one of their roadside services, and not all the rest, and they'll see if it's working, and they'll see whether it's working really well, and then they'll roll it out to the other areas. So it's using the data, seeing the increase in sales, seeing if anything is happening, and then rolling it out as you move forward, sort of thing. So it's about using that and interpreting the data. We've mentioned about AI and predicting. So AI data is one area that's going to start coming into everybody's sort of terminology, and AI will be able to start predicting what is going to be sold, basically. As it consumes more and more data, it will be able to tell you next Thursday it's going to be 25 degrees, you're going to sell 100 ice creams, so you need to order in those ice creams. We've got some of that data at the moment that we can share and we can give to you. It's not as sort of, AI will sort of take thousands and thousands of data points, but at the moment what we can do is look at what you've sold in the past and sort of give you an average number. We've got an example, Hertford College, Oxford. You gave us the example of predicting how many hash browns they needed. So we've got a great picture here of hash browns. It sounds really stupid, but their previous system would just say it's a breakfast, whereas we can actually say they've got a hash brown, they've got a bit of bacon, they've got a sausage if they're doing a 5-item breakfast. So that was able to give them the data of roughly how many hash browns they're selling, so then they can order the right quantities and things like that, and the knowledge of that detail. You're not throwing away as much stuff, so you're not wasting the food. It will improve your margin on that sort of thing. What else can we be looking at? So comprehensive overview will become easier to track your performance. So year on year data, KPI indicators and things like that. So using data to start sort of analyzing where you are will enable you to sort of identify trends and follow those sort of those decisions, and you can change things. You all know when your outlets are going to be busy. You all know when you're going to be quiet. But some of you might not know what meal deal you're selling. You might just see it as a meal deal, as I mentioned about the breakfast. You would like to break it down. At the moment, you might not know, or you might think that the prawn sandwich is the highest selling item, but actually it's not. It's the chicken and bacon sort of thing. So understanding those and the key data trends and using that information is key, really. Knowing what you've sold, very, very key. So actually, right, we're at 50. I mean, I've got pretty much at the end of my my slides here. Actually, I was thinking that I had a couple more to do. Some of you might be aware we have emailed and spammed a few of you. We've got the Uniware Roadshow coming up. We would love you to come and join us at the Uniware Roadshow. We've got one in London on the 13th of March and one in Manchester on the 24th of March. There will be a link on the slides that we will share with you. You can come and see our technology. You can come and see some of the reports that we're offering. The AI tools will be there. I don't know whether I should share it. We've got a robot coming as well. There's obviously all this. There are other systems are using robots, but all this technology that we're just going to be sort of seeing. How can 2025 help you? And most importantly, it's a free lunch. So please do come along to that or ask us about that. It should be a really, really good event and explore the latest technology and engage with our team really and connect with other peers and share experiences. Any questions, guys? I feel like I've rushed through that quite quickly and hopefully it's been okay for everybody, but it's been very, very interesting seeing those polls and we'll share that data with you if you can't see that already as part of the slides that we share.
Everyone's gone very quiet.
Everybody's gone quiet and all the cameras are off.
All the cameras are off.
Although I can see
better give it
Newcastle's
a-
cameras on. So maybe we should,
Pick on
everybody's
somebody.
waving in Newcastle. Maybe we should pick on Newcastle, or maybe I shouldn't pick on Newcastle. Any questions? I've got to reach for the mute button now.
Gone very quiet. Well, I think at that point there's a lot of really useful information there, and obviously, if anybody is able to attend the roadshows and kind of see the technology and find out more, then please do follow the links that Paul's just shared. We've also just shared it we're just about to share it on our LinkedIn page as well. As I mentioned at the start of the call, we do record the session and share this with members afterwards. So this will be available in the next few hours on the Cubo Knowledge Hub. And Paul will also be sharing the slides with us as well. So those will be stored in there too. Without further ado, thank you so much to Paul and Michael for leading on today's session. It's been really, really informative. And thank you to everybody who has joined us today for the call as well.
Oh, we've got a message in there. Says everybody saying perfect case studies going in there now as well. We do have a